How are you all in the world? This is the Bushido channel. This time I would like to introduce you it is Poor Fisherman 1824–1898 Pierre Puvis de Chavannes. I would like to take a look at this painting and explain to you the path leading up to the inference that this painting is a respect for Leonardo da Vinci. Of course, it goes without saying that different people have different perspectives. My point of view is a little different, so I would like to introduce it. I saw this picture about 40 years ago. I feel like I saw the same picture as this one. Of course, I've never been to the Musée d'Orsay, so when I looked it up, I think I saw another version at the Western Art Museum in Ueno, Japan. If I had only seen the Musée d'Orsay version this time, and I would have probably misunderstood that I would have seen this painting if I didn't know it was the Musée d'Orsay version. That's how vague my memory is. How did you feel when you saw this picture this time? Let's be honest. 1 looks like a gentle good man. 2 I wonder if he thinks, I can't catch fish next time I can pull up the net, I wonder if it's in the fish net. 3 The baby is sleeping. Is it these 3 parents and children? 4 The baby is sleeping on the ground, but isn't it bitten by an insect? I'm worried. 5 A rope is wrapped around the stake to fix the ship, but it will be unstable if there is only one place. 6 I wonder if his wife is picking flowers. It's a peaceful scene. It's a rough impression like this. It's a low-dimensional impression that can't be helped. After a while, when I saw it again, I remembered that when I was young, I saw this man as Christ. I'm a bearded old man now, but when I was young, I didn't have a beard. Everyone who was thin and bearded looked like Christ. I suddenly remembered that. It is a picture with a mysterious view of the world with a calm color. Is it a calm when you see the place where it is not rippling? The state of calm is often morning and evening, but is it around 10 a.m. that a person who seems to be a wife is picking flowers? The wind often comes out in the afternoon. In this picture, the straight line is the horizon, the rod with the pulley that raises the net, and the rope that lifts it. And paddle. I felt such a thing while looking at this picture. I always filter any picture myself. You can judge how much the painter is aware of the centerline. Longitudinal and lateral. How about that? The grass comes to the center. In the vertical direction, something like a Sokushinbutsu mummy appears, but this is not intended, and I think it is like a reverse Rorschach test. There seems to be little harvest. This is the first time I've learned that there is a Western art version and an Orsay art version, but why did you mistake it for the same picture? There is no doubt that my brain is at a low level, but it's still similar. I have to try it myself. I recklessly thought about overlaying the 2 paintings. This is an image of two pictures superimposed. I thought it was similar, but I didn't think it was so similar. The fishermen completely overlap. Perfectly matched ships, nets, horizon and peninsulas that look slender in the distance. The beach in the center is slightly off. The second coastline from the far right is off. As I found out again, the version of the National Museum of Western Art does not have a paddle for rowing. Instead, the baby is sleeping. I thought this was as good as using a paper pattern. Now let's just look at the version of the National Museum of Western Art. A baby is sleeping on the ship. Was the babysitter asked by his wife? Suddenly I thought. I knew when I was young that Christ had 12 disciples. But I didn't know the details. Currently, I am analyzing Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper in my own way, so even if I don't feel like remembering it, I have some knowledge. Many of Christ's disciples are fishermen. Petro, his younger brother Andrew, great James and John. Wasn't these 4 fishermen? As an art historian says, this man may be Peter. When I think so, my delusion switch is turned on. Peter is a stubborn, kind-hearted man, calm and timid, indecisive, and older and leader among the 12 disciples. Existence, and surely married. If so, can't you think like this? The Orsay version has a paddle. A paddle is essential for the boat to row into the sea. However, the Orsay version has a rope that is firmly stretched and fixed to the paddle and stake. The oars needed to start rowing and the ropes to hold them in place. He may be in trouble. Will he abandon his wife and children in a sense and become a disciple of Christ? But his family is sad to throw away. He may be worried. Can we blame him for being indecisive? Some deep sadness is transmitted to me. I think it's a problem unique to Peter, who has a wealth of life experience. It is transmitted as if it hurts. As a result, he cuts this rope and goes on a path of suffering, but this rope may symbolize his destiny. Now back to the Musée d'Orsay version. Are these 3 parents and children? If you look closely, the person in the back has no breasts, and if you draw your wife, it will be a little more plump, and you may think that you can draw a larger breast. Until then, if this person is said to be thin and have small breasts, but if his wife has a suckling baby, I think it's okay to make it bigger. Then, how about thinking like this? This person is a man, and I think this boy is actually John. Both John and Petro are the most disciples of Christ. He is an important disciple. John is young and is nicknamed the Child of Thunder. And he was young and beautiful. Such he comes to Peter. Petro, let's go early. To that person. Petro is still worried. And shortly after this, he may cut the rope and head for him, Christ. He abandons his suckling baby, abandons his family, and becomes a disciple. This is the part one thought about in literary thinking. In the second part, we will consider painting scientifically. There is something I'm curious about when I see this picture. In this faint and mysterious shade, the fisherman's trousers and the black color of the person in the back feel a little stronger in the atmosphere of this painting. I am particularly concerned about the black color of the person in the back. I don't feel like I saw this shape somewhere. I cut and pasted it hundreds of times, or more than 1,000 times, to analyze the Last Supper. The shape is stuck to the head. Isn't this shape the shape of John at the Last Supper? It matches what you have reached in your literary thinking. So, from the theory, I cut and pasted the black part of this person at the Last Supper of the evidence. When they were rotated and pasted together, they matched perfectly. This time it's the fisherman's pants. It may be different, but it matches Simon's body. I can't stop. Isn't baby's clothes also familiar to Christ's clothes? I almost conclude that these 3 points are a tribute to the Last Supper. When I reviewed it again, I started to notice the shape of that cape. And I found that the cape also matched the Last Supper. If you match it with the background wall, it will match the silhouette of Christ. It's interesting that a crane-like rod pierces Judas and Petro. It is a meaningful net thread that can be said to bring John to the position I thought of. My delusion is a big explosion. I don't even know where the painter Chavannes is in art history. However, he seems to be a painter who didn't feel at first, but I learned that he seems to draw a lot of murals. In order to think about the screen composition of such a mural painting, you will have to decide the enlargement ratio according to the area of the wall surface from the sketch blue drawing, make something like a paper pattern, decide the point, draw a line or color it. And if you were to paint a mural, you would have seen Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. If I were an art historian, I would have to scrutinize that too, but I'm just a paranoid, so it doesn't matter. However, it seems that this painter has acquired the habit of looking symbolically. It's like looking at the contents only on the outside, which is, in a sense, empty. The symbol attracted the symbol. You can replace it with the pattern that attracted the symbol. The Da Vinci Code is also an interesting novel, but I hate Professor Langdon's symbolism. Looking at the Eiffel Tower, it is said to be a symbol of male genitalia. It seems childish. That's why Mickey Mouse watches may look good on you. How was it? It seems that there is no analysis like me in the world. I'm also a pretty weirdo. After all, there is no choice but to live in a corner of the Japanese countryside. So, goodbye. See you again.